Welcome to the Dirt Life Show with your host, George Hamill.
Welcome to the Dirt Life Show. I am Bella Burchard. This is my co-host, George Hamill.
Hi.
And we are recording episode 2 of Bella's Corner.
Dude, tonight's going to be an awesome show for you guys. Bella has lined up a bunch of cool guests. Who do we got, Bella?
We have Hailey Hine, Gray Leadbetter, Aaron Cuevas, and Becker Chase.
That's a pretty stacked lineup, dude. How hard was it getting all those people on the show?
Pretty easy. They're super cool, outgoing people. They're ready to talk. And
Well, give yourself a little bit of credit, though, too.
Yeah.
Because you reached out to them, and they accepted, man, so it must be that you're pretty cool, too. All right,
Maybe.
So I think today's episode is going to be pretty cool. We already got some comments coming in. So, man, episode 2, did you know that there's a kind of like a secret in podcasting?
No.
That if you make it past your 7th episode, then you're destined for success.
Well, we got 5 more to go, so.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so give us a little bit of a rundown on what we're going to talk about tonight. Do you have kind of like a theme that we're going to talk about? Because I know that some of these people are young, some have a little bit more success, but you have something in common with most of them.
Yeah, so 2 of them are girls and 2 of them are guys. So we're going to kind of talk about like the women in the industry, but we're also kind of going to like venture out of racing a little bit into like what they do in their regular lives that have something to do with racing. So it'll be a little more personal. But
I know you and I both love racing, but I'm a huge fan of life.
Yeah, yes,
So
I
we'll
agree.
have to see. All right, do you mind if we thank a couple of our sponsors real quick then?
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Before we do that, tell everybody that they can share the show on Instagram, Facebook, and listen to it on iTunes.
Yeah, you guys can share this live on Instagram right now so that all of your friends and family can watch us.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then anytime you guys want to go back in the archives, you can always go and check it out. Like if you're driving across country to the next race, like Bella's going to do this weekend, you can hit it up on iTunes, Spotify, all those networks. You can even hit it up on YouTube. We don't get very many people on YouTube, but you can hit it up on Facebook as well. All right, so let's thank a few of our sponsors. We share a couple sponsors like KMC, so you want to thank them?
I want to thank KMC for your guys' wheels. You guys are very reliable. Motool and Evo Power Sports. Thank you so much.
Yeah, all those good companies. Evolution Power Sports actually been helping us quite a bit with our new satellite streaming project. We're going to have a live feed or live stream with those guys this weekend at the Best in the Desert, what's it called, the Laughlin Desert Classic?
Laughlin Desert.
And you're going to be there too, right, Bella?
Yes, I am.
Thanks to the guys over at Maxxis Tires. Really appreciate all their support. I think you already said Motool. Thanks to the guys over at Shock Therapy. You can use the code DIRTLIFE to get yourself some limit straps, steering rack, BSD kits. You can even use that code to help get your shocks revalved and get them all pimped out for desert season. Thank you to the guys over at JL Audio. We really appreciate all their support. They killed it on our Pro R build that we just got done doing for the Dirt Life. So if you guys want, go check out our social media and check out that build. It was really, really fun working with all those guys. Thanks to the guys over at Zollinger Racing Products. You can use the code THEDIRTLIFE. Get yourself some tie rods, radius rods, match up with your Shock Therapy steering rack. And thank you very much to the guys over at Vision Canopies. I actually just talked with Kyle today. Him and Doug Matag and Keegan Kincaid are teaming up. All 3 of them are teaming up for the Baja 1000.
That's so rad.
Dude, it's going to be pretty cool, right? All right, so who's going to be our first guest tonight, Bella?
Our first guest is going to be Gray Leadbetter.
All right, so let's see if, Gray, if you want to join, we can also invite you as well. Let's see if she's on here already. We're going to get Gray on in just a second. Do you want to do a little intro for Gray while we get her on?
Gray is 18 years old from North Carolina. She's raced many different vehicles, even motorcycles. She was nominated for the Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame for the Short Course Impact Award. Yes. So let's get her talking.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah. No, really cool.
That's a feat in itself to be nominated for the Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
And she's so young too, right?
Yeah, 18.
That's wild.
Pretty crazy.
There she is.
Hi, Gray.
Hi.
Hi, Gray. How are you?
Good, you guys?
We're doing pretty good, man. So where are you at right now?
I am home, believe it or not.
Where do you call home?
Morganton, North Carolina.
Whoa. That sounds like NASCAR country to me, Bella.
Oh, yeah.
I'm an hour and a half outside of Charlotte, so I try not to consider myself NASCAR country, but it definitely is.
Oh, you're one of those. You're just off-road girl? Huge off-road girl?
Preferably.
Well, should we get started with some questions?
Go right ahead.
So you finished third in the truck championship. Getting there is a challenge, and how did you make that happen?
Yeah, this year what definitely had its ups and downs. Every time that I was able to finish a race without something happening or going wrong or making a mistake on my half, we finished on the podium. So that went very good. Overall, it was obviously a lot tougher of a season than it was last year, but it was still just incredible. I mean, the class in itself is amazing.
Yeah. Congratulations, by the way.
Yeah, massive congratulations are in order. But I noticed one thing that she just said. Like, she said there was a big difference between this year and last year. Maybe we should dig into that a little bit more.
Yeah, tell us about that.
So last year there wasn't many trucks just because it was only truly the first year that the class had been started and raced.
What class was that?
It's called Pro Spec.
Okay.
So V6 4 speed H pattern. But the class had just gotten started last year, so there wasn't many of us. But with there not being many of us, you could finish last and still get a lot of points.
Right.
So it actually made the points very close. I think we went to the last round last year with a 2-point difference, if that. It might have been 1 or it might have been tied. I don't remember. And then this year it was all about consistency, and everything was going really good and went good throughout the year. We just had some bad luck on our half towards the end of the year.
Right. And then talking about this year, too, you raced side-by-side in Nitro Cross, right?
Yes, the Nitro Cross stuff is really fun.
Yeah.
For sure.
Out there in Mid-America?
Yeah. The track there is nuts. Racing in the truck was insane.
Yeah. No, I bet.
That did look actually really cool. Did you try to well, you did that on UTV and a Pro Spec?
Yeah, so I raced the Nitro Cross race back in June, there in the side-by-side, and then I raced the truck race, I think it was like 3 weeks ago.
They did a different, like a hybrid track though, right? It wasn't the exact same track?
Yeah, so we go back, so for the like normal short course races that they run there, and for the champ races that we did, we run back into the wood section, the track that Bella raced. And then for the Nitro Cross stuff, we only ran half of it. So we only ran the front half of it.
Right.
What should you like better? Because I feel like that would be totally different because you're going to be like way more packed on the track, right? Like all the drivers are packed in together?
Not necessarily. It wasn't as bad as you think. There weren't many cars for Nitro. There just aren't. So because it's you show up and you race and you drive for Scotty Lawrence. So there weren't many cars, so it wasn't too bad. I preferred going into the back just because it adds something different.
Yeah, it probably gives you more opportunity to pass in a battle, I guess. Because is it tight back there or no?
It's not too bad. Actually, most of the passes would happen in the back half just because it's not so much of a one-lane section of the track.
Yeah, more technical, not as wide open.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you get to ride that part too, Bella?
No, I did not.
Oh, you didn't?
I don't think so.
Yeah, you did. You went into the back.
Yeah, yes.
You come on the big hill and you go to the right.
Yeah, yes, I did.
How was that part? Was it fun?
It was tight. It like towards the back, like near the trees and stuff, but it was pretty fast paced.
Yeah, what Gray said, like good for passing?
Yes. I would say you just have to run a smooth line. Like if you're not paying attention, then this stuff can go wrong pretty quick.
Oh, like you could hit stuff or somebody could shove it in on you.
It's just like it's a fast paced track. Like you constantly have to be on top of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm a huge fan of that though. Like I feel like I would like that because that like gives you way more time, like way less time to think, but way more time to have action.
Yeah. I agree. Speaking of racing and stuff like that, being a girl in the industry that is male dominated, you have made a pretty big platform for yourself, obviously. Who was your first role model when you first started racing?
Not sure. I think if we go back to like when I very, very started at the beginning, being a female was always Ashley Filick for dirt bikes because that's how I started.
Yeah.
And then I don't know necessarily on the female aspect. Sarah Price is one of the people that I've looked up to just because she's done so many things in the off-road world. I'm pretty sure she's going to race Dakar this year.
Yeah.
But away from her, it would be Travis Pastrana, who I'm thankful that I get to be a part of and meet and work with now in a way. But I still look up to him just because everything that he's ever done has been incredible and he's been somewhat successful at it.
Right.
But he's just obviously been successful in everything that he's done.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Do you guys know like how hard he works to get that success? Do you guys realize that?
Pretty hard.
Yeah, but those are good lessons to learn, though, right, Gray? Because that means that you probably work just your butt off just as much as he does, to achieve your goals too, right?
Yeah, for sure. It definitely is an inspiration.
Yeah. It's not really something that we do alone, though. Following up to another question, who's your main support system? Obviously, we have like sponsors and stuff that are a huge help, but outside of that, like your family or your friends, you know, what do they kind of do to get you out there?
Yeah, for sure, my family. My dad supported me from day one. There was a point in time when I was growing up that he tried to get me to stop. Not in the way of he doesn't support me, but he was like, we could go to Disney World. We could go anywhere you want in the world. We could go on cruises. We could do this. And I'm just like, no, I want to race.
Yeah.
I would rather give up everything else than race.
Once you start, you can't get away from it.
Exactly. And he's by far been my biggest supporter. I mean, there's obviously other people here and there. My friends have been a huge support. They've supported me since day one of our friendship, whatever timeline that is.
Yeah.
And they try to come to as many things as they can.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's especially like that's important too, because a lot of people don't realize how much actual outside support it takes to get racing done, right? To get a race done or accomplished. And that's cool that you have a support mechanism like that. Did you always have that, or did you like kind of work your way up into it?
My family has definitely always been there for me. Friendships have gone and come over the past however many years now. I became homeschooled in 5th grade, so then after that time, all my friends came from racetracks and grew from that. So there was just that, and then there's been many people along the way, plus the teams I've worked with, the families of teams that I've worked with that still support me to this day.
Yeah, that's good that you have that loyalty in your program too. One of the things that I thought would be a kind of a cool question to ask you, Gray, is because we have a lot of kids that will comment in or message into the Dirt Life show how to like get racing going and stuff, and you just mentioned like people have come and gone in your program, right? Like that can affect younger kids a lot, right? Because they think that they're doing something wrong, or one of the guys super nice at one point and then super bad at another point. How did you manage all that stuff and the emotions that come along with racing?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've kind of you just have to stick to it and know that in the end, it's just you. Like you're going to have your team behind you. You're going to have your family behind you. You're going to have whoever that you're working with at the time. But in the end, racing is one of the only sports where it is just you. Like you're not with a physical team like you would be with football, soccer, whatever. So you have to make the decisions by yourself. And obviously you have support systems around you that you slowly can build that'll help. But overall, I mean, it's your decision because you're the one that matters. Your team matters in the end because they are the people who get you the wins. They're the people who get you there and are backing you all the way. But going from team to team or place to place, I mean, it's all your decision.
Yeah, I totally agree. Banks 169 said, "How do I beat Gray Leadbetter in a race?"
Race me November 9th.
He said,
"That's all I gotta say."
Yeah.
The next night cross series, we'll see.
Yeah, you'll see if they can beat you, though, right? Gray's gonna fight you till the checkered flag. That's for sure.
Banks can't.
Who's Banks 169? Do you know them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just a little bit.
Just a tiny.
Just a little bit.
He's cool, I guess.
Just maybe.
You race pretty much all over the country, huh?
Yeah, for the most part.
So there's a lot of tracks to choose from if you had to pick a favorite track?
ERX.
Okay.
Up in Minnesota, I think that's by far my favorite. I've raced some pretty cool places, but it's just the elevation change they have there and the fact that the dirt there is always perfect. It can downpour the day before and the dirt is perfect the next day. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah.
But there's just something special about that place.
Yeah.
In motocross, we call that chocolate cake. Yeah,
Chocolate cake.
That racetrack looks so sick. Like I've always wanted to go there. Always. You know what? The video that I loved the most that I wanted to go there. I don't know if it was Johnny or CJ, but I think it might have been Rodney. He like uses Pro Turbo YXE. I don't know. And he he backed it in one of the corners there, like a Pro 4, and was all the way backwards going into the corner and then shot out like a freaking rocket. And the dirt looked so good.
Yeah, it's always perfect there. I don't know what kind of dirt it is or what mixture of whatever they have in it, but it is perfect everywhere. And every class, too.
It's like the secret dirt.
Yeah, pretty much.
Late race scenario. Okay.
Yeah, and then, I did want to know a highlight of your racing career because you have so much highlights.
I don't know. I think coming out with the win last year in the truck.
Yeah.
And then ending up winning the championship going into last weekend pretty much tied. That definitely sits heavy on it because I literally had no idea. Like, I know that there hadn't been many females in the pro classes, but when I came off the track and I walked up to the podium, they announced it as like the first female to win a pro champ race or whatever it was. I was like, wait, what? Because like, I don't think, like, yes, I'm a female, but I've also grown up doing this my whole life, and growing up from dirt bikes especially, you just get used to it. You don't single yourself out. So it's just like, I was like, oh, really?
Yeah.
And then the same thing with winning the championship. It just didn't feel real. But I think
crazy.
It is. And then I think even away from the off-road four-wheel sports, it was racing the KTM Junior Supercross Challenge in like 2013 and being on a 50cc dirt bike and going on the Supercross track. That has still not felt real, and it's been 10 years.
That's crazy.
Dude. Yeah, that's super cool. And plus, they treat you like rock stars at that race too, like for the little kids. So one thing that I noticed that she was saying, Bella, was like, she doesn't necessarily think that she's an advantage or a disadvantage. She's just a racer, just like everybody else.
Right. Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about that with Hailey Hine too, because she's coming on soon. But yeah, I do want to like bring up kind of like, not necessarily bring up the girls in like the racing industry, but just like, make them a little more.
Yeah. Well, you know what I think has the most effect on it is like, everybody will always say that a girl's at a disadvantage. I don't think that at all.
No,
right?
I don't either.
But I think that the girl's mindset puts them above that, right? Because they can think past all of that stuff. So it gives them a stronger sense of ego when the helmet is on, and it gives them a stronger sense of personality so that they can compete with these guys, because they basically have to have an extra superpower to be able to compete. Like, it's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think the motorsports is one of the few sports that a female and male are at the same level.
Yeah.
Because it's not, like, it is physically demanding, but it's not like it would be if it was football or basketball or soccer or something like that. I think those are reasonable for having, women's sport, or, what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But I think racing is the one thing, like, even dirt bikes, there's a separation because it's so physically demanding. But motorsports and cars within itself, like, I think males and females can be on the same level all day long.
Right.
So she mentioned Ashley Fiolic, however you pronounce it.
Fiolic.
Yeah, Fiolic. So I got to actually ride with her once at Pala Raceway. This was like way back, like 2008-ish or 2010 or something. I don't remember.
I was 2.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. But I got to ride with her at that time. And for anybody that doesn't know, is she deaf and mute or just deaf? Like, I don't know what it is. But either way,
I think she's just deaf.
Yeah, so when I was riding with her, like, I use my ears a lot to ride, right? Because I would control the dirt bike and stuff from that. But she was so flippin' fast. Like, I could not believe how she could go so fast. And then I researched her afterwards, and she said that she uses, like, all these other senses, like being able to hold on and being able to know the vibrations to feel what gear she's in and stuff. Like, that is like the mindset that I'm talking about. And not that everybody, like, you guys have the same mindset, but you guys use extra senses to be that much better than what other people are.
Yeah. I mean, girls are better. Just saying.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Like the Pro Eagle guys. Look at what they were just saying.
If you're a racer and competitive, then it doesn't matter what sex or race you are. I agree.
100%.
So, Gray, what does your race schedule look like next season?
Not sure yet. I wish I could give you the answer to that. I know that coming up this season, we still have Nitro Cross. We race at Wild Horse Pass November 9th, and then Glen Helen December 9th, I believe it is.
That's your birthday weekend, right?
It is. My birthday's December 8th.
Well, I'll be there.
I know, I'm excited. But yeah, I think that's what we have set for this year, and then working on plans for next year. Not sure yet. Well, pretty much out in the open, but up for anything.
Yeah.
Which race are you looking forward to more, Glen Helen or Wild Horse?
I've spent time at where Wild Horse Pass is. I've never seen the track per se. I think I'm excited for Glen Helen though, just because of what the atmosphere I think of it will be.
Yeah. The Cali vibe is super cool, but Glen Helen tears up cars.
Yeah.
Tears up cars.
Well, good thing it's on Scotty Lawrence.
Yeah, exactly.
Shyfly34 said, easier question. Fave discipline, 4 wheels, 2 wheels, tricks, or racing?
4 wheels. Anything 4 wheels.
What's the reason?
It doesn't even have to be dirt, honestly. I love dirt just because I grew up on motor or dirt bikes, but definitely anything 4 wheels.
What's the reason that 4 wheels you like better than 2 wheels? Because I've always been a big 2-wheel guy.
I love 2 wheels. I still get on a pit bike, but that's about the most that I'll do. I just try not to hurt myself.
Yeah.
I know that if I ever get back on a big bike, I will probably end up hurting myself. So I try to stick to either just messing around on a pit bike and having fun or 4 wheels.
Yeah, I agree.
You know how pit bikes are, Bella.
Oh, yeah. That's not my route. Yeah.
You got anything else for her?
No, I think that was it. I think that wrapped it up for me.
Well, I got one more question for her. So, Gray, what kind of advice would you give? Well, let's just focus on young women. What kind of advice would you give young women to get to a similar point in their racing career like what you have? Because I'm going to just preface it by saying it was a lot of hard work and you're still young. There was a lot of trials and tribulations that you've gone through. And every young kid wants to be closer to where you are. So what advice would you give them?
I think for the most part, it would just be like I said earlier, just like sticking your head into it and knowing that in the end, it's just you. And it's not like in a negative way, because you obviously will always have people who support you, but you just have to, you can't take what other people will say about you being a girl or about you being young, because some of the old guys just don't want the new up-and-comers. I don't know why, because that's the people who build your sport.
Yeah.
And that's the people who get it out on social media or get it out on whatever it might be. But you just have to really just stick to your head mentally and just know that you are your own person and to get yourself out there. And as much as I hate it, you have to be on top of social media.
Yeah, literally. It puts your name out there.
Yeah, totally.
Yes, you have to do it. And it's, even if you don't want to, it's the one thing that's the world has gotten to, and you have to do it no matter what. And it's, in a way, it sucks because it's you have to show talent too, but at the same time, social media has become more important.
Yeah.
Well, but one thing that she said there is you block out all the noise, right? So you have noise from haters, you have noise from people on social media and all that stuff. And I think that's fantastic advice, especially, well, you kind of just proved our point. Bella is younger than me, of course. I'm the old guy, but she wants to help other young racers and she wants to educate people and do interviews. That's the exact thing you're talking about, Gray, just on 2 different steps of the platform.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, man. You guys are forging your way through this off-road industry,
I
so
know.
keep it up.
We're the next legends.
I love it.
All right.
You got anything else you want to talk about, Gray, or should we just have Bella? Should we have her thank all her partners and sponsors?
Yeah, who do you want to thank?
I don't think I have anything else to say. Of course, thanks to my family. I wouldn't be anywhere without them. Ryan Beat, who helped me be so successful in the trucks this past season. It's been incredible. Everybody else who's helped me along the way, I could sit here and thank people for hours if I wanted to be honest, because I can't remember half the stuff or half the people that have come along the way and however many years it's been. But I couldn't be more thankful. And, of course, thank you to Bella for having me on here.
Doing a great job, Bella. Thank you, Gray.
Thank you so much.
All right, so who's next?
Next is Becker Chase.
All right, so we're going to get Becker Chase on. Let's see here. Did he already request? No. All right. Do you have a little intro for Becker? Because
Of course.
Becker's pretty young.
Yeah, Becker is pretty young. Becker is
the Wrecker 195.
he's 12 years old and he competes in a Pro NA desert car, which I think is crazy.
That is pretty crazy. How can he reach the pedals?
I don't know. I was very short when I was 12, so I have no idea.
That's cool that he does, because I remember calling a couple races that Becker raced, and he was just pinned everywhere.
Yeah. No, yeah. I think he's won a couple of championships in Texas Outlaw Series.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got a couple championships under his belt, but
that's right. That's where I think I did end up calling the race, and I don't know if I even met him.
Yeah.
He's a pretty little guy, isn't he?
Yeah. He's got the coolest personality ever, but yeah, racing desert races at the age of 12, like, that's crazy.
All right, Becker. So we invited you on, buddy. Hopefully you got the invite. Make sure your Instagram app is totally updated so that you can get on and talk with us a little bit. If you don't get on in a couple minutes here, we're going to go to our next guest, who I think is Hailey Hine, or Aaron. Is it?
It's Hailey.
Okay. So so we're gonna have to do that if you don't get on pretty quick here, buddy. So jump on as quickly as you can, and hopefully we can talk to Becker. When was the first time you actually met Becker?
The first time I actually met him?
Yeah, was it in Texas?
No, I've known Becker probably since I've started racing.
Oh, really?
When he was little, yeah.
That's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, we kind of, our families are pretty close, and he's a pretty cool kid. His whole family races too.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yeah, I just think it's crazy that the kids are so young and they're racing big desert races.
We saw, at the California 300, we saw some really little kids in RS1s.
Yeah, it's crazy to me.
There we go. View the requests. Let's see if we can get him on here now.
Hi, Becker.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. This is George.
Hi, Becker.
Hi, George.
I've seen
Hi.
you a few times, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Nice to see you.
we
Hold on,
wanted
I
to
can't
talk
see you.
about... What'd you say?
Hold on.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Hi.
No problem.
No, that's what.
Okay.
They can
got
see.
you.
Okay.
What's up?
So,
I kind of wanted to talk a little about you desert racing at being... 12 is pretty old, kind of, but I think it's crazy that there's so much, like, fully grown men out there, probably up to 60 years old. And
so let's reformat that question a little bit, because I think that's a good way to put it. So desert racing has ages all the way from little kids in 170s who are how old? Maybe 5 years old, all the way up to guys that are like Larry Rossler, who are upwards of, I think, 60 or 70 years old now.
Right.
Like, it's pretty crazy. And if you look at it as a ratio of numbers, Becker is all the way on the bottom of that.
yeah, no, it's crazy. I can follow up with a question. You are a pretty young desert racer. What skills has desert racing taught you so far?
it's been teaching me how to save the car than just beating on it, like splits in short course. And then, like my skills has been changing a lot more because it's a lot different from short course.
Right. So you have like short course experience too, obviously. But like, what's the big difference between them two? You know, like racing in a tight short course track compared to being in the middle of the desert, you know, with not as much boundaries.
Yeah, you have to like the skills a lot more different than like the car's a lot bigger, it goes a lot faster. You have to get your stamina up, so you have to train a lot.
Yeah.
And so for that long mileage.
Is there stuff that you do outside of racing that helps with training?
Yeah. I love mountain biking and dirt biking like sometimes. And football. I do football a little bit.
All right.
And then that's really it.
That's a lot.
Where do you live, Becker?
I live in La Crescenta, California.
Oh, right on. And then I kind of want to know what kind of mountain bike he has, Bella.
I just picked up a new Commensal.
What the heck is that?
So it's a type of bike, like a mountain bike. So what it is, the forks go all the way up to like the handlebars ish, and then just a bigger suspension in the back.
Oh dang!
So it's more like a dirt bike. Does it have any like e-assist or anything, or no?
No, it doesn't. It's just for going downhill and like park, basically.
Dude, homeboy likes to mash downhill. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah. You have a family of racers. I do know that. So, how cool is it that you share like a passion with your siblings too? Because I know that they race some a little, don't they?
No, not really. It's just my dad and my grandpa and me.
Right. So, does your dad co-drive with you in the desert races?
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, you got to kick Dad out, man. I know he's right behind the phone. We can talk as much trash because we can't see him.
Yeah.
How come you don't want your dad as a co-driver?
Because he's racing. He'll be racing like the same. He'll be racing the same race as me, but just in his truck.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's cool. So you guys are on the track at the same time?
Yeah.
Hey, there is strategy behind that too, right? Because, like if he comes into the pits or you come into the pits afterwards, you guys can bring each other parts.
Yeah.
Just in case, buddy.
Yeah.
What is the most like challenging experience you've ever had to face in racing?
It's a hard one, but probably trees. Yeah, 2 races in a row. I hit a little bit of a tree.
Hey, we're twins. It's okay.
You guys just like taking trees out or what?
They're just in our way.
Oh, God, really?
They just jump out of nowhere, huh?
I know, right?
Did you totally wipe out a tree or what was the deal?
So the first race, there's 3 trees, and I went straight into the middle of them, and if I turned my wheel a slight bit, I got hung up, so it took me a couple times to do it. So then I got back out, and the guy that was right behind me got into first place. So then I had to go in and take my time.
Yeah.
He learned. It sounds like he learned really quickly.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of stuff that with desert racing, if something happens, you just get right back up and figure it out from there. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
And for some of the people that don't know the difference between desert racing and short course racing, if they're listening to the show, short course racing is usually on some sort of closed circuit environment. Like if you know motocross, you would know supercross and motocross like that. It's very similar to that, but desert racing is a lot more drawn out. It's more of an endurance sport or endurance motorsport because you have to be hydrated. You have to take on food and all of this different stuff. So it's a completely different form of racing. It's pretty cool that you guys as kids are already starting that stuff. It's got to be pretty cool, don't you think, Becker?
Yeah, it's actually really cool to get into the desert instead of short course.
What's the coolest part about it?
Probably the coolest part of it is just getting to see the terrain and stuff like that. It's a lot more mileage than short course because it's 5 lap sprints in short course, and then you have 400 miles you have to split up.
Right.
Completely different form of racing. I think it's pretty cool. And if you're a young kid like what you're talking about, Becker, and even you, Bella, it really trains your mind to be focused for a long duration of time. That's completely different than short course because in short course you just go out there, knock it out, and you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what did Car One Fabrication have to say, Bella?
Car One Fabrication said, "Let's see Becker's victory dance."
Have your dad hold the phone. Have your dad hold the phone real quick, and then we can have this be our Instagram clip.
I don't even know if I know it anymore.
Ah, you know it.
What was it? All right.
I don't remember.
Let's see the moves, dude.
Come on, let's see it.
Oh yeah, that's number one.
That was pretty good, dude. I like it. So when you get on the podium, you always have something special to do, or what?
Oh, well, in short course, yeah, that was my little thing. But now in desert, I just stay in the car.
Dude, you got to keep it going, buddy.
Yeah.
Go ahead and read the comments, Bella.
Dylan Shook said, Bella likes razor barbed wire too.
Oh, did you smash into a barbed wire fence?
Oh yeah, you experience a lot when you're desert racing.
Yeah.
Some stuff just is worth staying in the car. You don't need to know
Just
about
leave it there. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Well, George, do you have any questions?
No, one thing that I like of that you were asking, like when you asked Gray, I think personally, when I was a little kid and I was racing dirt bikes, like I had to come up through the ranks pretty quickly, right? And I had a big support mechanism around me, and I really like that. So, if Becker's cool with it, and if this is your interview, Bella, but I'd like to ask Dad a question too, and see how the family vibe is with both of them.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Would your dad be okay with that, Becker?
Yeah, he should be fine with that. Here he is.
All right. So, Dad.
How's it going, guys?
Yeah, very well. How are you?
Doing all right.
All right, give yourself a quick introduction, and then we'll go into a question about the family.
Travis Chase Motorsports. I've been racing since 2005. Rookie of the year in Class 1. Best in the desert. Raced a bunch down in Baja. Raced a bunch up in here in the States. Was a Legacy Spec Truck champion. Got quite a bit of history in the desert. My dad's been racing since 83, so he's obviously the one that got me into this and got me hooked on this, which is way better than any drug out there.
I believe that, man. Well, so a lot of accolades, right? Or a lot of accolades, right, Bella?
Yes.
So one of the things that I like to always ask the families, Dad, is obviously it was passed down from your father to you, and you guys are kind of keeping it passing down through those generations. Does it take a lot of patience and support when you do those? I don't know what you want to call it. Do you want to call it like the passing of the guard or the handshake off to the next generation?
Yeah, so it's pretty funny because like when my dad kind of handed it down to me, he didn't let go.
Oh.
So we tag teamed for quite a while. Actually, we shared driving duty in 1600, and then eventually up to Class 1. When we kind of got into the truck stuff, spec truck and trophy truck, he didn't really want to get into that. He was always a buggy guy. So it's kind of nice. He still our crew chief. He kind of runs everything. He runs all the pits for Becker and I, which is kind of nice because it takes all the pressure off me. And then, so then I started racing spec truck, and the short course was kind of nice because then I could keep Becker going and occupied, and I can handle that stuff because we weren't racing at the same time. But now that Becker's gotten into desert racing, makes it a little bit easier because we have crews already spread out throughout the desert. But it's a little bit more, it messes with me a little bit because I'm always kind of wondering what's going on with him, you know? So generally I tend to finish ahead of him. I have had one DNF this year, which was not awesome, but it was nice because I'd be able to finish, circle back, and then see where he's at or catch him at the last couple pits. Yeah. So that was pretty cool.
It is kind of cool, though. And, like, so you have a little bit of similarities with all that stuff, Bella, you know, like with your dad and desert racing and stuff. Andy said what's up, too, Travis.
Yeah.
But
what's up, Andy?
I like this because it really gives, like, a sense of teamwork. Right? Because it's not just dad helping at that point. Like, it's a whole team. And then dad steps in when he needs to. I love that, man. Like, that's one of my favorite things about the, in quotes, dirt life or the racing industry, right? Because you always have that, man.
Yeah, 100%. And it's not just immediate family. I mean, you have all these people and these volunteers that come out to help you at every single race, and they become family, you know? And there's guys, I mean, we do race shop every Tuesday night. We have a good group of volunteer guys, and there's about 10 guys that come into the shop all the time. Becker, now that he's older, he comes down and helps us as well when it's not a school night or something. But I mean, they become family, and we're celebrating birthdays down there. Guys said, "Oh, there's no place I'd rather be," and we get cakes and a whole bunch of stuff. So these guys become your relatives pretty fast because they're putting their lives on hold to come help you in the desert on random weekends,
Right.
Dude, that is so cool.
Yeah, it's not just a team. It's family.
It's family.
Yeah.
100%. All right. So I don't know if you can hold the phone a little further away, but I'd like to ask Becker a question why he's with you.
Give it over here, bud.
So the main thing that I wanted to ask Becker, if you can hear me, is what is one of the biggest things that you look up to your dad for? And to follow it up, how are you going to beat him at that thing?
So one of my biggest things for my dad, he's like so like smooth in the desert. Like he makes like all the like nice lines out there and like just quick and smooth.
That's one
How
of
are you
the.
gonna beat me?
Yep.
But I can
man.
tell you right now, as a father, that's one thing that I'm actually really, really looking forward to. Kind of slowing down maybe not slowing down my program, but kind of backing it down a little bit, and then eventually getting him and sharing driving duty in the truck at some point, and then working our way to relinquishing my seat and then having him go in full time.
Yeah, I can only imagine like how much gratitude and how much love and happiness you'll get from that, because that's such a cool, like we just talked about, passing of the torch. You know what I mean? And I think it's cool, but I know that there's a few years left in Travis, and I know there's going to be some competition on the track at some point.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there will be for sure, 100%. I mean, so we still have our 5 Unlimited car that we won the 1,000 with a couple of years ago. That's going to be Becker's next step. I'm going to keep him in Pro NA for a couple of years, unless he gets picked up or something, by somebody. But that 5 car being a short wheelbase car, high horsepower, it's going to teach him how to control a car. And so then once we go to that, then we'll kind of get him up into the truck ranks, and hopefully by the time he's 16, 17, 18, then he'll be kind of ripping along pretty good. And, I don't know about you guys, but Bella, obviously she's gotten these opportunities. I never got these opportunities. Yeah. I mean, until I was 30, so It's pretty cool to kind of see it trickle down and get these kids in there and a little bit sooner than later.
Well, UTVs have brought a whole nother level to the sport and opportunities for the kids too. So, man.
Yeah, because I grew up riding dirt bikes and racing dirt bikes. I mean, and then once my wife and I got married, it was kind of one of those, I don't want you on a bike anymore. As soon as she came and watched me race down in Baja, and it was like, okay, well then let's start thinking about what we're going to do. And my dad had an old 1600 in the garage, and that's kind of how our whole program got started.
Yeah.
Dude, see, that's perfect. I love it. Bella, if you don't mind, I'd like to ask Becker one more question.
Go ahead.
What's your favorite snack that mom makes for the weekends at the races?
Ooh.
Probably Uncrustables.
She doesn't make them, but he loves them.
They're super quick and easy.
Travis, I've heard it's got to be 99.8% of all off-road racers love Uncrustables, right? And they love.
I'm telling you right now, man, that's what my crew lives on. We just pack a whole cooler full of Uncrustables, every kind you can wish for, and they just eat them throughout the day.
That's and so like the amount of money that off-road has given back to the Uncrustables company. Why can't we get a non-endemic sponsor like freaking Uncrustables to come on the side of the truck?
100%. I mean, that's a full factory deal right there.
We need it.
Nationwide brand.
Exactly.
I like Brian Carr's comment too. Thanks, Brian. I'm sure you're in the same boat with Chase, buddy.
Careful what you wish for, Travis.
It's okay. The passing of the guard is the next step, so we love it. All right, let's wind down the interview, Bella.
Yeah, thank you so much. Is there anybody that you'd like to thank for your racing program?
I would love to thank my mom, my dad, and my grandma and grandpa. They have like super big support. My whole Chase crew, Chase Motorsports, KMC, Ball Designs, EBC Brakes, and
it's like a BFG. We got a few people that help our program out, and we can't do it without them. Especially being a family deal. So
yeah,
I just want to thank everybody. And hey guys, without you guys doing this type of stuff and bringing on Beck and stuff like that, man, that's huge for him, because he's never done anything like this, and it's pretty cool. He worked his way through it pretty good. He did a great job. So thank you guys so much.
Yeah,
thank
absolutely.
you.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me on.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you guys. I do have to say though, I've had Becker on my list for over a year now.
Really?
And then having you be the catalyst and making it happen, Bella, has been really important too.
Yeah.
So Travis, I do appreciate it too. I like the way that this stuff is going, and the kids having a little bit more control in the industry, because it's our next step, man. I appreciate it.
Glad.
Not a problem, guys. Thank you for everything.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks.
See you guys. All right. So who's next?
Take it easy.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Next is Hailey Hine, which I'm really excited about.
I am too, man. Hailey's such a cool girl. Like,
Yes.
I've got to meet or hang out with her probably 5 times now or so.
Really?
Yeah, and I think one interview that I did with her was last year at the Laughlin Desert Classic. So it was like pretty much almost exactly a year ago. So
Yeah.
all right, so I invited Hailey on right now. So Hailey, if you are watching, please accept the request and we'll get you on and have a good conversation.
Hailey Hine is 19 years old from Arizona. She's attending NAU for mechanical engineering, which is pretty rad. She has a history of racing side-by-sides in works, but also desert co-driving for Caden McCachran.
Dude, that's a pretty big task, driving for Caden, and then also running your own program, man.
Right. Hi, Hailey.
Hi, Bella. Hi, George.
Hi, Hailey. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing pretty well. You sounds like you've been busy, man. Bella gave you a fantastic intro.
Yeah, thank you for that, Bella. It was very nice.
Yeah. So I do want to start off because we ended your intro with co-driving for Caden McCachran. So I do want to ask, you co-drove for him in the Baja 400 for about 100 miles, right?
Yeah, it was 120. It was a rough day for me.
Yeah. How was that?
So, not great. I ended up picking up a stomach bug the morning of race day.
Oh.
So I went as far as I could and then handed it over to Tyler, which was a bummer, but I still got to be a part of it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool though.
Yeah, but that stuff happens though, dude. You just got to do what you can. And that's actually really a good testament to your, I don't know, what do you want to call it, dedication to the team and to the racing, because most people don't even show up and they have a stomach bug like that.
Yeah. And talking to a few other crews, it seemed like it was going around, which was a bummer. So I'll save the details, but if you saw me on the start line hanging out the window, no, you didn't.
Oh.
So.
Well, I did also want to talk a little bit about what you're going to school for. So you're going to college at NAU. And you're majoring in mechanical engineering, correct?
Yes.
So I want to ask, did desert racing or just racing in general have like a play in that, or like inspire you to, get a degree in mechanical engineering?
Yeah, so ever since I was young, my dad would just be working in the shop on his race cars and on work and stuff. But I always would enjoy building things. I would just pick up a piece of metal and build something. And so it's the whole act of, drawing things out and designing things and then bringing them to life that really got me going. And it's funny because even before I got into race cars, I saw the Polarises around and I go, wow, I really want to be a Polaris engineer. Like I want to build the next race car. So that's what set it off. And now here I am. 2 years in now.
That's crazy. And even like going to the Baja races and seeing like kind of how Polaris really puts their pit teams together and like, it's just a whole learning experience. That's really cool.
Yeah. Being able to pick the engineer's brains is pretty cool.
When you think about those types of, I don't know what you want to call it, personality traits and also decisions that go on along with those personality traits, do you consider yourself like, how they say like left brain, right brain, where you're creative or you're logistical or whatever? Like, where do you put yourself? Because I think that has a lot to do with how you excel in the path that you take.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a good dabble of both. Obviously, this degree it's very demanding in the work and the time. So I'm balancing getting all of my work done in the weekdays and in the time that I have off so that I can go watch other races and be a part of other races on the weekends.
Dude, how hard is that though? Dang.
Yeah. It takes a lot of organizing, but I get it done.
Yeah.
Is this your personal assistant like me?
Oh yeah.
And then on top of that, you were an intern for an IndyCar racing team.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool.
Yeah, this summer I was one of 3 interns for the Women in Motorsports program at Chip Ganassi Racing. And so they brought us in for different thank you. So they brought us in for different parts of the shop. So they had one girl, she's now a senior in engineering at her school. So she spent a lot of time in the engineering department. We had another girl in the IT department. And then I got to spend time in the shop. So I was physically working on, the gearboxes, the shocks, the body of the cars, all of that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Dude, what was your favorite part? That sounds like so much fun.
Probably being at the racetrack because I got to be a part of the pits. So I would do signboard and fire bottle, which was pretty cool.
I guarantee there was
very high intense.
Dude, her Instagram probably had so many FOMO DMs, like people just like.
No, I was foaming over there. I wish I was there. Yeah.
We had a comment come in, Belle.
Hailey is an incredible person. She always has a smile, says Chuckers22.
Yeah, actually, so just that comment by itself, sometimes when you have such a busy schedule, it's very difficult to always have a smile on your face, right? That's another way that we can tie in that same kind of question, Bella, like how women in motorsports and how she overcomes things, because there's a lot that she has going on in her brain. There's a lot that she has going on with her time. How is it like being able to keep a smile on your face and to be able to really put all this positive vibes forward?
Yeah, I think I'm just looking forward to my next steps always because, there's something new around every corner. And the fact that I get to be a part of so many different things, such as the Polaris team. And then, I go to school and it's just, I feel like I'm doing really good and I'm getting through it and I'm making it happen for myself is really keeping me going.
Yeah.
That's crazy that she says that because she's so young, right? Like I'm realizing it a lot later in life, but I used to think that I was addicted to dirt bikes and I used to think that I was addicted to racing and all this stuff. And I've done a lot of cool things in my life, but you know what I realized in the past 5 years? I'm mostly addicted to progress.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's what drives me is always being better. And it seems like you're the same way.
Yeah. I always try to be. And, it's just so different. Obviously having to let go of racing for the time being. But again, like I said, I'm looking forward to the next step. And when I'm done, hopefully I can get back into it and build something up for myself. So that's keeping me going too.
Good for you.
Do you still get to ride and drive and stuff like on the weekends?
Yeah. So when Glamis comes back around, we'll be there. But other than that, just the co-driving. And then we chase a lot of races for our friends, Brent Fox and them. So
yeah.
Dude, she's a busy girl.
Oh, yeah. I think even like the works races that we were doing, and stuff, kind of just taught us all of that, like having dedication and just motivation to keep going.
Yeah.
But they were just small races too compared to these big like Vegas to Reno races, But that's kind of where we learned like all of our life skills.
Yeah, that was my thought too when you were asking Gray questions about how busy she was. But just the fact that I did works racing when I was in high school. And as you know, we would have a race a month, sometimes two. So once I was done with school, I'd go to work with my parents straight after school. And then, once I left work, it was back home to work on the race cars and prep them for the races, but then also get my homework done. So I think my mind is just so tricked to being busy all the time that I'm just, always looking for something to do.
Yeah. A race life is a busy life.
Dude, that's a perfect way to put it.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then what I was talking about with Gray, I brought it up with her, but being a woman in the industry.
You
got it.
Okay. Scratch. What advantages and disadvantages do you think you have?
I honestly wouldn't say that there's many disadvantages. I mean, we're all on the track at the same time.
Right.
We're all racing the same cars. So at the end of the day, it comes down to how well you can drive that car and how you can be competitive. So obviously, I had a lot of time doing that and racing against other people. So it kind of just puts you in a place where it's not your sex or who you are. It's just how you're doing. So I would say that that's super important for being a woman in, the industry. And then the advantages, honestly, are that, we're women. I don't know. It's cool.
We're just a girl.
Did you know, like, I forgot what there was a female race. Oh, it's Danica Patrick. And when she was doing IndyCar stuff, they did some sort of study, like how she reacted and like her reaction times and how she was calm and like her heartbeat and all of these different like medical science things. And it was actually showed that she could perform better than most males just by the science in her body and all the things that they were tracking.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're just programmed a little bit better. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I love it. Keep that confidence, girl.
I think that was all of my questions, but do you have any questions?
Yeah, I do. So, since you're like involved in racing so much, does that mean that you want to stay in racing as an occupation or stay in motorsports as an occupation? Or if somebody came along and was like, hey, we got this super boring corporate job like building missiles, would you want to do that? Or do you just like racing that much?
I'd have to say I really like racing. Like I say, seeing the Polaris cars was really my go to get into engineering. So I think that's where I want to go. If not, maybe I'll make my own brand of UTVs. I'm not too sure where it's going to go. I still have a few years to figure it out, even though I'm always thinking about it, but it'll come when it comes.
Yeah, exactly. And you never know, timing is always a thing that I've learned has been a key instance to your a key ingredient to your success. And so who knows what'll be like after you graduate, when do you graduate? A couple years from now?
No, so I've already knocked off a semester, so I'll get out in the fall of 2025. So 2 more years.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so by then there's going to be a massive increase in the way that side-by-sides perform and how far they've come up in the ranks, and there's going to be all kinds of new products that come out to support those things. And since you're in the middle of it right now, who knows what your brain's going to come up with in the next couple of years.
Exactly. Yeah, that'd be cool.
So, all right. Bello, I think we should ask her to thank her sponsors.
Yeah, please thank your sponsors and everyone who supports your whole program.
Yeah, so I got to thank my family for keeping up with me. Obviously, I got a lot going on.
Yeah.
And then I got to thank Caden for, letting me be a co-driver and learning all the ranks in Baja and getting to have that experience on my end. And then with that, the whole Polaris team and everybody that supports them for building those cars and having that seat for me to be in.
Yeah. That's pretty rad.
I think it's cool. You know what I just thought would be a fun joke from now on is if I ever get on the podium again, I'm just going to say, I'd like to thank my mom and dad for giving birth to me. See ya. And
I just thank my mom, my dad, and that's about it.
And just drop the mic and bail, and you're good.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for answering all my questions.
Yeah, thank you. I love your Bella's Corner. It's super cool.
I love it too.
You did a great job, Hailey.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, we'll see you at the races, girl.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bye.
All right, so now we got to get on Aaron, huh? Later.
Yes.
All right, let's try to see if we can get him on here. All right, Aaron Cuevas, we got an invite sent out to you, so let's have you join real quick, and then he'll be our last interview, and then we're going to hit the road, man.
Yeah. Aaron Cuevas is 16 years old from Texas. He started racing quads and dirt series to racing pro in the classes in Mid-America. But what I think is pretty cool is that he does mostly, if not all, the work on his cars.
Really?
Yes. He does all of the work, and he preps it and works on them. And you just don't see very many kids doing, you do see him, but, not all the time.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of work.
Right. But he teaches himself. And
Wait, how old did you say Aaron is?
16.
He's 16 and he's doing all this?
Yes. He used to be my neighbor.
Really?
Yes.
Imagine 15 years from now.
No,
How much he's going to know because of how much he's learned doing all this stuff so far.
I think it's pretty cool.
I do as well. And he must have a family that supports him pretty good, too.
Hi, Aaron.
How have you been?
Good. How are you?
Okay, sorry. I couldn't hear you.
Oh, that's way better, dude. You got some sweet volume going. All right.
So
first things first, let me see that hat, dude. That hat's sick. There you go.
Got a Max's hat.
Big shout out to the guys at Max's Tires.
Yeah.
Oh, that's one of my favorite KMC shirts.
He's just fully repping right now.
Dude, he's got the orange and black just matching.
The whole kit.
Dude, perfect. What's your first question for him?
My first question is, so you have a pretty long history of racing for, how old you are. But where did you kind of start? Like what series, what car,
I started at Works on my mini quad.
Right.
When I was about 6 or 7, around there. It was a while ago, and we raced on the 50 for a year and then did quads for another 2 years and then moved up to the 170.
What made you want to do that change from quads to cars?
I like the cars more, and my parents thought it was safer as well.
I agree.
That's the first thing that I was going to say too. But dude, it must have been so much fun though, being a kid and just having the opportunity to go out and put yourself in the dirt like that. How many times did you come away from the track with just the biggest smile on your face, no matter what position you got?
A lot. At the beginning, it was always fun. It's always been fun. It's it's a nice feeling to go out there.
Yeah.
Well, especially when you be with all your friends too, right?
Yeah.
Dude, actually, this is a really good question. So, from a young age, Aaron knew how it was to be a friend and like play off the track and be a full competitor when you put your helmet on.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can be friends off the track all you want, but once you're on the track, your goal is to beat them no matter what.
I 100% agree.
Well, and their goal is to beat you too. Don't get it twisted. Don't sleep on your friends because they might come out swinging one moto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I think is pretty cool, which is one of the reasons why I kind of did want to do an interview with you too. I feel like every time, like after the Texas races and stuff, if you had to work on your car or something, it was always mainly you. I know you have a great support system, but you're so willing to like work on your own cars and to teach yourself, what tools to use and like where goes what and stuff like that, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah. I just want to make sure when I go back out there, I'm prepared as well as I can be to win.
Yeah. Did your dad teach you kind of how to like do everything, or did you just sit there and kind of do it yourself?
Yeah, he taught me a lot.
Yeah.
Especially like when I used to race the 800, I had to learn because he had some health issues and I needed to step up if I wanted to keep racing, which it was worth it to me because, well, I love racing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
One of the things that's really valuable about that is, and I realize this a lot in my program because I was responsible for most of the maintenance on all the vehicles that we had in our professional program. But when you touch every bolt on the car, you have a lot more confidence in your race car. The second portion of that is that you can almost feel everything in your hands and in your butt and your feet when you're driving because you're like, oh, I knew what happened when this came loose and I tightened it or I loosened it or it was broken or whatever it was. So you have that like extra connection with your car that a lot of people don't, right?
Yeah. It's definitely given me more confidence knowing like what does what, and say the front's loose, I'll know if it's like a wheel or the steering rack itself, or if it's just like a rock
right
in the tire.
Being able to point something out, like because you work on the car, you can feel what exactly is wrong.
I can feel what's wrong or what's happening with it.
It makes everything so much faster and just.
Well, has that ever benefited you? Like after you came off a race and you were like, dude, I did so crappy that moto, man, like I need to step it up for the next moto. And you get back in, you have a debrief with your team and you're like, you know what? I got an idea. And then you work together and you solve it.
Yeah. We've worked on like moving the sway bar, like tightening or stiffening it, or like tire pressure, knowing like if we need more grip or we more traction or less of it. And just small minor tweaks that will make a big difference sometimes. Yeah,
totally. Well, like in Havasu, the track gets really rough, ruddy. There was a lot of undulation in the car. So if you loosen up your sway bar, you can get a lot more, flex in the vehicle and stuff. Like if you know how to do that and other people don't, that gives you a massive competitive advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
It is cool. And he's learning at a young age.
Right. It's something that you'll carry with you probably for the rest of your life,
Yeah. I'm definitely grateful because it's taught me like how to be more respectable. Have more respect for people that like go out there by themselves and work on the car and do well. And like it's nice to see that my hard work will pay off too.
Right.
Well, yeah, and even more respectful to the car itself, so that you can actually make the car last longer too, right?
Yeah. Like once we get back here, we wash it. We check basically all the corners, every nut and bolt, make sure nothing's loose or broken, and so that we don't have to worry about it. And it makes us not have to worry about stuff breaking
right
in the middle of a race or in practice.
A whole nother level of confidence. Do you ever feel like, because my crew chief, he was like, he loved racing, but he liked being in the passenger seat, you know, like he wasn't like, he was totally fine being the crew chief, right? And he would ride with me if he needed to. But he didn't really have any ambition to race. Like you're a racer, right? But like, let's just say the opportunity, like in, I don't know, a couple years, like you turn 18 or something, and the top trophy truck team was like, hey, you want to come work with us at a race? Would you do it?
I think so. I definitely consider it, but I also love racing at the same time, so it's also a hard choice to choose.
Right.
Because it's one thing to just be out there and watch, and it's another to be on the track and like race.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I just enjoy the sport. Like watching races is fun, but I think driving out there is funner.
Yeah. Well, once a racer, always a racer, right? And your answer was spoken like a true racer, but there is benefit to learning the back end of the operation, though, too.
Yeah. Yeah, and sometimes I'll come out here and I sometimes just enjoy working on the car.
Yeah.
Learning it, because it's just nice to learn your car more.
Right. When you learn it, you learn how to become a better driver, and it excelling, like working on the car will excel on the track.
One of the questions I want to ask is like what I asked Becker too. How many times have you eaten a sandwich with just grease all over your hands in the garage?
More times than I'd like to admit. But
that's like the norm for any mechanic or any like wrench guy, always eating a dirty sandwich.
Ugh.
Yeah, like even at the track, like if we need to quickly get ready for the next moto, if something broke, like just having a sandwich midday.
Oh yeah, nice dirty hands and.
A little grease never hurt anybody. What's that comment right there, Belle?
Thigh Rhinos, I think, said, any advice for someone who wants to be a pre-runner, daily driver for the first time?
Build, maybe.
Yeah.
Wait, let me see that comment.
It was just any advice for somebody that wants to build a pre-runner or a daily driver for the first time. I think just get in it, dude. Like, just start building, man. There's no other way to do it.
If you have a passion for it, it'll come naturally.
Looks like his internet might be bogging out a little bit, Bill.
Okay, sorry. What was that?
Your internet was bogging out a little bit, but yeah, I mean, like, just get into it. Like, there's no other way to do it. You're gonna build something, just like start building.
Yeah, start building. Definitely like learn from other people when you can, because that's always a good thing. Like, don't be afraid to ask other people about like any tips or anything about that.
That's actually one really good point that you're bringing up, Aaron, is like I see personally, and Bella, you can answer this a little bit too. Do you see younger kids being a little bit scared to ask questions? Yeah,
I do. I feel like racing kind of impacts that because, like, you know, people are watching you race, so you have to, like, you know, you kind of have, like, pressure, so you don't want people to, like, you don't want to ask questions because...
Yeah, it changes the way that people view you or your confidence level or something.
Right, people might think, oh, they don't know this, they should, or something, you know, but really it's, like, that's how you learn. Ask questions and, you know, observe people, like, if you really want to be successful.
That's the only way to do it, and never be good enough, too good. Like,
right.
So in a business world or in any type of racing or operations or whatever it is, usually the smartest person in the room is the one that sits there and listens and then asks questions at the end because they take the information as much as they're given and then they fill in whatever gaps that they had in their head and they take all that information and make themselves better right afterwards.
You always have to be willing to learn and willing to expand your mind.
Yeah. Like, I know I used to be scared to go ask other people at the track when I was younger, but like I've learned a lot from just being able to go ask like simple things, like, I don't know, clutching stuff that'll make a difference, and just learning from some of the better people
Yeah.
Dude,
Like-
don't ever call clutching simple, dude. Clutching is like the most gnarliest science I've ever seen in my life. Like, if you know clutching, please, I'm gonna ask you a billion questions, dude, because I still don't get it.
Yeah, it's a sensitive, like clutching's sometimes can be really like sensitive. Like you'd need to change like 5 grams of weight.
Yeah,
Or take or add. It's insane sometimes.
dude, but that's exactly what I was talking about being able to feel it, like with your butt and your arms and your legs and stuff. Because like I still to this day, I'm just like I'd rather shift the car. But like if you know clutching, you know clutching.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Hey, dude, I'm gonna have Aaron work on the Pro R.
I
a little
know.
bit.
I trust him with any part.
Thank you.
What else you got, Belle?
I think that's it for me. Oh, and biggest highlight of your racing career?
Ooh, man, that's hard. Because like for like winning or like something I just really enjoyed.
Anything.
Well, hey, I'll help you answer this question a little bit because I'll answer it for myself too. One of the biggest highlights of my racing career was not when I was professional in off-road. It wasn't when I was professional in dirt bikes. It was when I was an 80 expert and I crashed in the first turn and I ended up getting second by like 3 feet at the finish line. And this was a matter of 15 minutes. Like it was crazy because the level of competition was so intense. But you know what? The best part about it was, and why I'll never forget it, is because I was like in this zone that nobody could ever like pull me out of. Like I had tunnel vision and I was just doing like perfect laps and just ripping corners. Like I'm kind of getting goosebumps right now thinking about it. Like, have you ever had any moments like that?
Yeah. I think probably the highlight of like personally for me was last year at the first round I raced at MAO where like it was a battle between me and a friend and like it was fun. Like it was a good race and that I think I earned.
Right.
Like through trying, not because anyone else broke, but through like I won it and it was happy. Like
yeah.
Yeah, you earned it.
Yeah. It's just a feeling that like you always want to remember because it's one of the best times of your life when you're out there.
Yeah,
especially when you come home with a win.
Dude, exactly. All right, so JP Perez said clutching is propeller head stuff. Dude, it really is. Like, and then Jason Hess says, "What up? What up, Jason?" He's all the way in Texas watching you, Bella.
Oh, look at that.
Thank you. I think Aaron did a fantastic job on this interview. Should we have him thank his homies and all his family and friends?
Thank everybody that supports you and your program, and go ahead.
I'd like to thank my parents first off because they've been here since step one, and my sister because she's always telling me like that I can do it if I just try hard enough, and she's always there to support me. And my sponsors, they help make all this happen as well.
Right.
Like it'd be a lot harder to be out there if I didn't have them. And yeah, my friends, because they're always cheering me on, and racing against them's one of the best things about being out there.
Yeah. And then the last but most important question.
Always.
What is your favorite taco?
Ooh.
I mean, we need details here, buddy.
Yeah, like everything.
Street tacos at Pastor. Just straight that. Maybe a little bit of lime.
Okay.
Cilantro.
You run guac
salsa,
or nah?
Maybe. Huh?
Do you run guac or nah?
No.
Dude, he just runs it straight up.
Yeah.
Dude,
that's the real way to go.
I know. El Pastor does sound really good right now.
Yeah.
Now you got us thinking about food. Should we just say F it and just like start going to get tacos and having podcasts from the taco shop?
I guess we should.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, perfect.
Yeah. Aaron's a foodie like me.
Where are you headed next, Aaron?
Next round's at MAO for the last race of the year. And then they're running a new series next year all across the US. So we're hoping to be out there.
Yeah.
But
well, good
yeah,
luck to you.
next round.
Thank you for everything. Thank you for answering all my questions.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
You did a great job, dude.
Yes.
We'll see you at the races.
Bye, Bella. Bye, George.
Bye.
Later.
Later.
All right. So he did a great job.
Yeah.
I think Aaron is destined for media.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. Okay. So we got to thank our sponsors. Why don't you do those 3, and then I'll do the rest, and then we'll hit the road.
Yeah. I'd like to thank KMC Wheels for great product.
Yeah, just like Aaron did.
Yeah. Repping them. Motul and Evolution Power Sports.
Wait, so what does Evolution Power Sports do, though? They just create horsepower.
Yeah.
All day.
Basically, if you want to be fast, go to Evo.
Yeah. I saw those guys yesterday or the day before. They got some cool stuff going on over there at the shop in Phoenix. So thank you, everybody, for watching as well. We really appreciate it. Thanks to the guys at Maxxis Tires. Aaron had his podium hat on. Really appreciate them. The guys over at Shock Therapy, use code DIRTLIFE. Get yourself some savings at shocktherapy.com. JL Audio guys, man, I can't wait for you guys to hear the system at Camp Razor. It's going to be pretty sick to be able to play tunes at the hill.
Yeah.
Zollinger Racing Products and Vision Canopies, really appreciate it. But Bella, we can't do it without everybody that watched.
Yeah. Thank you to every single person that joined this live and listened to all of our questions and just talking to the youth and everybody.
2 down.
Yeah.
Number 3 is next.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
See you guys later.
Thanks for listening to the Dirt Life Show. See you next week.